My name is Insane Raven, and welcome back to Tales of the Hunt, a bi weekly podcast where I go through my trophy hunting addiction and tell you stories and tips and tricks of how to get the platinum trophies, reviewing it on the process, and hanging out with you guys all the while. I want to start this episode by saying, right off the top of the head, that yes, this is for Prognophobia Month because I believed at the time that Mad Max had good old facial hair. He had like some 5 o'clock shadow, some scruff on the cover box, on the box cover. And then later on throughout the game, you can just like steadily grow and customize it out until he has like a giant like Comstock beard from Bioshock Infinite. So I'm gonna count it. Some people that is absolutely terrifying. So there you go. That's how we're going to talk about that. But as much as it is a gross and smelly beard that it probably has maggots in it because you can eat maggots in this game. In fact, there's a trophy for eating maggots in this game. I do not recommend going for this trophy, mostly because unless you've already gotten all the online servers or the online trophies, the service for this game has been shut down, which locks you out of a couple of trophies. So I don't recommend it because it's impossible at this point. This is an impossible platinum trophy in 2021. Hell, it became impossible in 2020. November 1st, 2020 is when the servers were officially shut down. So I do not recommend even trying this if you're a trophy hunter. If that is your need, your desire in games is the trophy hunts, just step out of it. So we're all gonna kind of talk about it. We're gonna go through all the trophies bit by bit, talk about how the fact that back when this was a video show, this being the third week, I would have already grown my beard out a bit, so it looked kind of scraggly and gross. But this is a podcast now, and I don't do those things. If you also knew, I also tend to do that a lot on this show, kind of talking about what plans, if any, I did have when this was a video, when I had that time, essentially. But yes, that's where we're at there. So, we're talking about Mad Max. We're talking Mad Max today. This is a early 2010s game, if I've ever played one. Like, there were a bunch of games that kind of came out in the early 2010s that had the same kind of flavor to it. It had this expansive open world sandbox type game with basic kind of crafting, basic kind of resource management, and just it felt very safe. This felt like a very safe era in gaming in 2010s. And for that reason, I'm always kind of like nostalgic for it, strangely. It's like, oh, okay, I know what I'm getting into. And Mad Max, for all of its faults, is a really good example of this era of gaming. With the Magnum Opus, this absolute customizable beast of a vehicle that you can build, it is amazing. Like, I loved this game. I knew I was being safe, and I knew it was easy, and I wasn't really breaking my back to get anything, but it was such a good game to play. It's a shame that a lot of people would never get to play this game. Never did play this game when it was like up and live and doing things. For a couple of reasons. One, it came out on the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Like, that was just a bad move. Like, on everyone's, perspective on Warner Bros. Like, what were y'all thinking? Second, it also had, it's a Mad Max game. It was coming out around when Fury Road was coming out. And a lot of people had this conception in their head that was like, oh, it's a movie tie-in game, when it really wasn't, as far as I was able to find. It really wasn't a movie tie-in game at all. Besides sharing the same IP, there wasn't a lot to really connect these two. I will admit, I have never seen a Mad Max movie. I've only seen the trailers of It's a Lovely Day, and that's about it. So I was going into Mad Max completely blind, and I'm still talking about Mad Max completely blind. So, as we kind of go through and talk about these trophies, keep that in mind. I might actually have no idea what I'm talking about, besides the fact that I did get all these trophies, because I'm empty on the inside. What a lovely day. So the first trophy was On the Road to Nowhere. Travel 1,300 car lengths in a vehicle. This was the first trophy I got, and I do not understand why that. It's very strange. Like, there's such a strange measurement. Like, I guess now you can say it's... No? The joke doesn't end. I was going to say like 6.5 feet. Or some other insane thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the joke died and I just didn't... I wasn't a smart enough man to just let it die. I had to commentate on its death. So now we're here. Just walk away. Travel 650 car lengths on foot. Again, I don't know. Fresh air. Drive the magnum opus off of a wasteland jump. There are all NPCs around the open world map, and one of them actually has a side quest that you don't have to do. You almost have to 100%, but you don't. It's quite like, if there's a list, you have to do it. If it's a metric, you have to do it. If it's just stuff like, hey, talk to all the NPCs and see what they do here or that, you don't really have to do it. It's quite strange, if I'm honest. But talk to one of these NPCs, they will light up your map with all the wasteland jumps, and all you have to do is drive your main vehicle, the magnum opus, off of one. Everything lost again. Complete Act 1. So that's just the first fourth. I believe. Oh, first fourth. There are 5 acts, but they're really like only 4. Because one of the acts is like 2 missions. Doesn't really count in comparison. Golden Boy. Reach a new legend rank. Now this is by completing different challenges and completing different essentially progression bars and combat requirements or open world exploratory requirements, which then level up your rank, which then levels up your legendary rank. It's very confusing. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and the UI though is nice. I enjoyed it. It's like your story is being told essentially as you do these stupid and wild, crazy things. Slight distraction. Complete the Dinky D Wasteland mission. You have to complete all the Wasteland missions. These are the side quest missions, which is fun. I know I just said like a minute ago that you don't have to do all the everything, but the side quest missions you do have to do. Even though you talk to that one NPC who's like, hey, here's where all the Wasteland jumps are. You don't have to do all those. Those are completely optional, and that is that. Wasteland Chef eats a meal of maggots. There are a couple of bodies straying out that you can just eat maggots from. So, that's fun. Doing Jeet a big favor. Build 2 projects in Jeet Stronghold. So for these, you end up having to go around the wasteland, finding out different project parts, and picking up scrap, which essentially is the money in this game, to pay for big projects that happen. These either fill up your water canteen, which gives you health, they fill up your gas, they fill up your magnets, a bunch of things that end up essentially giving you fresh bonfire restarts from Dark Souls when you go back into the world. Very interesting. Doing Gut Cache a big favor. Build 2 projects in Gut Cache Stronghold. This game gets very repetitive with its trophies, so I'm not going to have a lot to say all the time with these, because essentially there are like 6 different trophies that just get repeated for doing it more. It's very weird. But like I said, it's that early 2010s game where it kind of just feels so safe. That it's like, oh, okay. Wasteland of Opportunities, complete Act 2, doing Pink Eye a big favor. There you go. Just rewards. Have 5,000 scrap in your inventory. This is a tricky one. Not because it's hard to get this much money. It's not. And in fact, it's really easy. Every enemy car you blow up gives you scrap. Every enemy you kill gives you scrap. There are scrap bundles that give you hundreds of scrap. This is easy. It's just a matter of not spending all your money. Because you do need to get the scrap on hand in one go. Just like in the Jeet Thrives, reduce the threat to 0 in the Balefire Flatland region around Jeet Stronghold. This is something that you are going to get a couple of times. It is, but it ends up being a signpost type trophy where you have to clear out the entire map, getting all threat levels to 0 wherever possible. So this just ends up being one of the beginning ones in that process. The skill driver, complete a barrel bash death run. You're going to find these racing tracks out in the middle of nowhere and you'll be able to do this. It's quite simple. All you have to do is find it. That essentially becomes the hard part. The Saints, complete a death run in an Archangel. Again, the Archangels are just specialized, I don't want to say classes, but default classes for the Magnum Opus. Once you attach them all, once you get all the parts, you then have to build it for yourself, and then you're free to just use it as a default class. A default build. That's the word. Default build. I know words. The Smart Driver, complete a Scatter Death Run. Same thing. The Quick Driver, complete a time bomb death run. Those are awful. There you go. Quench their thirst. Give water to a wanderer. This is actually kind of difficult. Not because it's actually hard to do. It's just a matter of RNG and just getting lucky and finding a group of wanderers. But it's finding a group of wanderers and then not running them over with your car, like I've done maybe 4 or 5 times. So, there's that. The bigger they are, take down a top dog camp. This ends up being a signpost. You have to do it anyway. Moving on. Up and away. Fly the balloon at every vantage outpost. This is just another signpost trophy. It's essentially like climbing the radio towers in Far Cry 3, which I'm pretty sure is where they got it from, but it was done uniquely, so I kind of enjoyed doing them. But yes, every vantage outpost, I had a stroke there. Very simple. Just go ahead and take over the outposts and then go up and away. Have 10,000 scrap in your inventory. It's the same thing as, like I said, a lot of these trophies kind of duplicate. It's just rewards trophy. Just double it. The Road Warrior trophy is for reaching Road Warrior Legend rank. Not a big deal. Maximum, fully upgrade max. Again, not a big deal. Gut Gash Thrives. Clear the threat to 0 in Parch Moon region around the Gut Gash Stronghold. Again, not that difficult. Just go ahead and follow the checklist. This game was very checklisty, but it made it pretty easy to know how your progress was going, because it told you. It was pretty simple. Bomb Specialist. Clear all minefields. You need to have the Dinky D dog buggy, Chum's buggy with the dog to do this. You can't do it any other way. You need a dog with you, and that then becomes one of the hardest things, because you essentially now in the scenario is like, oh, I can't really defend myself. Most of my weapons are now gone. I just have to outdrive people, and that is very different. Pink Eye Thrives. Get the threat level to 0 in the Knit Sack region around Pink Eye Stronghold. rinse and repeat what you did for Gutgash and Jeets. Move on. Rust is the new black. Collect all body colors. Now, you collect body colors by taking down top dog camps. That is difficult to do, mostly because it gets repetitive and boring, and this game gets very repetitive very quickly. Not just in the trophies, but just in the gameplay loop, essentially. If you're not countering with triangle or mashing square to attack, you're stunning with circle, and it's very Arkham in that way. A lot of the games that were coming out from WB in the early 2010s were either just purely Batman or had Batman fighting style. So we're talking like Shadow of War, we're talking Mad Max, we're talking the entire Batman series. You know, there were all these games that had the same combat, and which then helped kind of blur all these games together. With Batman, of course, being like, oh, well, you're Batman in this one. And this one being like, oh, well, you are in the desert and you have a car for this one. That type of thing. Digging a deeper hole is completing Act 3. Complete all Wasteland missions is the requirement for Stop and Smell the Roses, which is not that hard at all. It's harder to lock yourself out of a thing than it is doing it. Running Wild, complete at least one race at every Death Run location. The Constructionalist, build all projects across all strongholds. Those two are just the completion stuff, you have to do them, so it's fine. Maximum Air. This one sucked. There are guides online that you can look up to kind of find, but I had to build an Archangel that was pure speed, and then had to go to Pink Eye? Yeah. It's Gutgash and Pink Eye. I had to go to the Pink Eyes area, up where there's all those spiky cliffs or whatever. I had to hit the NOS as I was going off the cliff and just kind of float in air as long as possible. The problem is, you have to survive that fall. And let me tell you, it is not easy. It's not an easy survival rate at all. But very memorable. Very memorable. Very fun. Now, the next two trophies are pretty much the same thing. Start of Something Good, which will clear the threat in all of Jeet's territory. Spreading the Word is clear the threat in all of Pink Eye's territory. Then there's Blockhead, which you get for owning the best V6 and V8 engines. The Guardian, successfully complete a death run with every Archangel. These death runs are specifically pointed out to which Archangel can race in them, which then makes it annoying because it's not only do I need to go out and build all these parts, collect all these parts essentially, I then need to specifically put them in this manner to specifically take this specific version of this car to a area so I can do this race. So the Guardian itself is frustrating. The Messenger, which then means getting a legendary time and all of these things, is even worse, because then it's oh, you can't mess up now. But luckily, as you're doing all of that, you'll most likely also pick up the Exiled, which is a trophy you get for defeating an enemy vehicle with every Archangel. Pretty simple at that point. Next up trophy, we have Daddy Wants a New Grill, which is probably the most disgusting sentence I've ever said, unironically, and not as a part of a role-playing tabletop game. Putting that pause there was a terrible place to put a pause. But no, it is for collecting all the hood ornaments. And the way you're going to do that in this game is that you're going to take out all the enemy convoys. By taking out the leader of the enemy convoy, a hood ornament pops off and kind of just lays there. You have to pick it up for it to count. It won't just be given to you because of it. And the convoy isn't considered defeated until that hood ornament is picked up. So that's the next one. Raising Legend takes down all Scrotus camps. It's just another completionist trophy. It's another take out all the enemy camps type Far Cry 3 type trophy. No big deal. Complete all the good work. No, I combined two things together. Keep up the good work. Clear out all the threat in Gutgash's territory. This is the trophy that I missed earlier when I was doing all the other spreading the word, the start of something good. This is that in-between one that I just missed earlier. Not a big deal of a trophy, just something to do, essentially. Explosions are not enough. Complete all optional objectives in all camps. You're going to have to do this anyway to do some of the other trophies that are there. Sniper Suppressor, take out all the Scrotus snipers. Again, no big deal. No Brainer, destroy all the No Brainer. I don't know why I said it with an A. Put a little Latin flair on it. Destroy all the Scarecrows. 1,000 words. Collect all history relics. Pretty sure these are just pictures. I'm not. Oh no, it's. Yeah. I'm just looking at it. I'm not quite seeing what the item it is because I don't remember specifically what it was. But yeah, there you go. Looked everywhere. Loot all scavenging locations. That one's a bit of a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. Up to the task. Complete all non-repeating challenges. This is the trophy why this game is now impossible, because there are 2 challenges that don't repeat that are connected to an online server, which is now turned off. But to do the up to the task trophy, this is your 100% completion trophy. It doesn't count the campaign stuff, but it counts for all the open world, all the vehicle combat, all the stuff that you can just do out there. This is what this trophy encounters. And the survey crew, which goes out and when you are not playing the game, it goes and picks things up for you. This is connected to an online server, which is now shut down. So while you can still get the survey crew, they're not going to give you any more scrap, which when you need 500 pieces of scrap from these crews is now impossible. So again, like I said at the top of the episode, if you're going for platinum trophies only and you want that perfect profile, essentially, which I will never get, unfortunately, you have to give up on this trophy. You just have to. And I'm very sorry. Because then after that, it was Power in the Machine, complete Act 4, Downward Spiral, complete Downward Spiral Reawakening, complete Act 5, and Halls of Valhalla, which is the Platinum Trophy, which is sitting at a pretty nice 0.8% ultra rare, and that is because of the Up to the Task trophy, like I mentioned earlier. Now, this story is not anything really to go home about. It feels like it doesn't go anywhere. It feels like I spent way too much time on this game for something that really didn't pay off. But if you are going for just I want to play something kind of nostalgic but new, then this is a decent game to pick up. Like, I am not upset at my time with Mad Max. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the car. I enjoyed the fun of it, of just walking around with a shotgun and being like, hey, I got a boom stick. Like, it was a good time. And this game actually gives me a lot of comfort in the fact that Days Gone was free. It was a PlayStation Plus game. I could play that. Like, I could platinum that. And I think I'd enjoy that. Because I did enjoy this. I enjoyed it so much more knowing that it is going to be pretty much hard locked at 0.8% because of the non-repeating challenges trophy, the up to the task trophy, which again is now impossible. You cannot get this trophy legitimately if you haven't already done the survey crew thing. I am just very happy with how this trophy ended up. So that is it. that's all I have to talk about Mad Max. If you guys liked this episode, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comment section down below. If there are any movie tie-in games you'd want me to play, let me know, and I'll give them a fair shake. But yes, my name has been Insane Raven. This has been Tales of the Hunt, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.